Welcome back into the early line. Happy holidays. Appreciate you coming along for the ride here with us on Christmas Eve. I'm Dubs Anderson. That is Joe Raineri. Joe, on the spot, best gift under $50 to take to Christmas Day lunch tomorrow. What do we buy?
Oh, it's easy. It's a bottle of Whiskey Pig bourbon. I mean, it's quite honestly, you're making these questions easy here, Dubs. You ought to see what's under my tree right now. Might as well just be a bar at this point. But yes, under $50, outstanding stuff. Can't go wrong.
I bought a plethora of scratch-off tickets from the gas station. That's going to be also my season of giving to the people. But I tell you what, Joe, if it's not the bottle of Whiskey Pig bourbon, and geez, that sounds succulent. What about a couple of winning plays? Can we give the people what they're looking for?
Yes.
Wednesday's going to feature 5 games on the NBA slate, and the 76ers going against the Celtics. What a showdown this one looks to be. Philly, they're playing better basketball. The Celtics been very strong at home, 11-4 for the season. Joey Mazzulla getting the boys fired up. There won't be a Jason Tatum out there on the floor, but certainly no shortage of star power for this one, Joe.
Yeah, and this, of course, coming off the heels of Embiid being injected last night for going after an official. And I'm assuming he will not be suspended and be available for that game. Because I do believe there is a rule there, Dubs. If you get, 2 technicals, I believe there is a suspension that's supposed to follow that. But, I'm sure they'll make room and allow him to be able to play in this game here. I don't know what to make of the Sixers. Honestly, I don't. I mean, that was a great win last night. But what are we doing here? We know for a fact that if they are usually, and you mentioned here, Jason Tatum likely out in that game, but is that going to matter if we have a less than 100% Sixers team here? I don't know. I thought the Sixers were playing better heading into that game last night, and mostly because they had been healthy enough there, especially with Embiid, even though he's wearing the mask. Great come from behind win. I just feel all of these games, especially this one on Christmas Day, probably going to get a lot less defense, Dubs, and a lot more offense. It feels like we should just be back in the overs, and especially in a game like this with the Sixers and the Celtics. It's going to rain threes. I don't think anybody's going to go out there and lay it all out on the court. I like the over in the game. I think that's not a bad way to look at it.
Seeing that number hover right around 222.5 there. 76ers over in Boston taking on the Celtics. I feel like it's a lot of points for the 76ers. If Maxey can get back to what we saw there on Monday evening, I think the 76ers are certainly live to keep it close enough. Straight up, well, I got question marks on that side of things. Let's bring it out to the West Coast. West Coast, the Lakers going against the Golden State Warriors. Again, superstar, star power, plus 150. The Lakers outsiders going up to San Francisco in another low total. I believe this one opened at 231.5. So we have seen a bit of movement towards the unders, Joe.
Yeah, and again, Lakers have been playing some defense, have been playing to the unders here, but my goodness here, as long as everyone for the Warriors who is playing that we think will be playing there, like Gary Payton Jr. and Draymond Green and others, if they are healthy, I got no problem backing and taking the points here with the Golden State Warriors. But I agree with the market move. I think the under is probably the better look.
We really do have some enticing matchups for Christmas Day. The Denver Nuggets and the Suns. This will be the late game for Wednesday evening. The Nuggets are playing some fantastic basketball, led by, surprise, surprise, Nikola Jokic has been in his bag. Minus 146 there, so a bit of juice, but looks to be worth the squeeze with a total sitting at 233.5. For the Phoenix Suns, Joe, they just haven't found a way through the last couple, and it's a team that's really hard to trust. On the betting side of things, you think you're getting one thing, and then they just show up with a dud. So it's a bad spot for them.
I don't get it. It just the Phoenix Suns have completely fallen off defensively. Devin Booker is not coming back anytime soon with a groin injury. They look as disconnected as possible. I wanted whoever won that game last night to fade them in the next game. But I can't fade Denver because I can't trust Phoenix here. It would be Nuggets for me or pass.
5 games coming up for the Wednesday slate. Happy holidays. We're getting after it with the association betting. Time for a timeout. We'll back here on the other side. What's the early line? Welcome back into the early line. The NBA talk continues as we get set for a Monster Wednesday. A Monster Wednesday Christmas card coming up there, Joe. So let's take a look at the early games. Batting leadoff. San Antonio Spurs out in New York taking on the Knicks. Tell you what, the Knicks absolutely masterclass there on Monday night from their dynamic duo. The Spurs, though, Wemby, CP3, they've been playing some really good basketball. 224.5 is the total. Look at this. The odds makers projected to be an absolute landslide over there at MSG.
Yeah, and I agree with it. I think the Knicks will have no problem running over this Spurs team, unfortunately, especially at home on Christmas. I mean, I had made the Knicks somewhere around an 11 and a half point favorite. It did look like the total is starting to come down a little bit here. And here's the numbers, Dubs, with what I was talking about. The over on Christmas games going back the last 5 years, 16-9, 64% to the over. A Knicks team total over, maybe. A full game over, maybe. A lot of props to the over. It feels like this is where the Knicks will kick off Christmas with a big show, and they will have no problem bombing away. And let's face it, Wemby can't block all of them. So I do think the Knicks are going to win this game by double digits, but I think the over is probably the better play.
Wemby will do his best to try and block every single player in the facility. Yep. He is that good. He's an absolute monster there. So that's going to be the early game coming up for the Wednesday card. We then move into the Timberwolves going against the Mavericks. And I feel like things just haven't been working out for Minnesota so far through the season. Anthony Edwards has been a little chippy, taking shots at the officials. It feels like that locker room's slightly off right now. And for the Mavericks, they got confidence. Luka returned there on Monday night. He put an absolute monster performance. They're set as 5.5 point favorites at home in what projects to be a low scorer, 221.5.
Listen, the Minnesota Timberwolves are a mess. And the idea that they swapped out Cat for Julius Randle and thought somehow or another he was just going to slide right into this team and make them the same. It's not the case. They're a mess. They're a mess to the point where they don't even like one another. Dubs, watching this team play, Anthony Edwards is getting fined left and right because he's telling us this team hates one another. He doesn't like them. They can't play well together. There is no, there's nobody spacing the floor for the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. You can't play Julius Randle and McDaniels at the same time. All they do is chuck up threes. Everybody knows how to defend Anthony Edwards now because there's nobody else there that can actually shoot or they have to worry about it. And you got the Mavericks team, who's been one of the most consistent teams in the NBA, and they'll have no problem healthy beating this team. I mean, to me, I got no problem backing Dallas here. I know what we're going to get with Doncic back in the lineup. And the inconsistency and just the sheer dysfunction of the Minnesota Timberwolves, no way. I'll take it all day long here with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, we're seeing that one the same. Happy Spritemas to Minnesota and Anthony Edwards. The Mavs 17-11-1 against the spread. On the flip side, you look at Minnesota 11-17, so have not been strong in trying to cover that number. It sits at 5.5. So that is the 5-game slate coming up in the association for Wednesday afternoon. On Christmas Day,